loud, my bro. I like that style. Yeah, yeah, so y'all don't know. Give them y'all what they want, yo, yo. Grips on your legs, front way, back way. You know that I don't play. Streets not safe, but I never run away. Yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know what's. Yo, they don't want us to be great, bro. Popped up. Oh, ratty to bomba. Yeah, I'ma switch it. I'ma switch it. Oh yeah. Say I don't know. Say I don't know. Baby girl, me like your style. Me like that girl. Me like that.
That's right. Delayed.
Yeah man. Say I don't know. I have what them girl them need, yo. Me treat her like the answer the way she love the big ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The girl them speak that chi.
Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to the Unscripted Podcast, All Talk. We have an amazing guest. Mr. Vincent Chang is in the building.
Yeah, man.
Yo. Wagwan yardies. Yo.
You know what I mean? Thank you so much for joining us on this awesome Wednesday night, evening. I don't know why I can't talk. I'm trying to figure it all out, man. It's crazy, but welcome to the Unscripted Podcast.
So we had someone that said they couldn't see Vince, and just to let the viewers out there know, he's actually broadcasting from a different location. He's not in the studio. That's right.
Yeah,
Big things are going on, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm in Denmark right now.
So where are you? You're in Alaska right now? Australia? Where in the world are you?
I just flew back from Denmark. I'm sadly across the bridge. I'm from Brooklyn, but I moved to Jersey like 6 months ago because the rent too damn high. So now I got my own place and I can afford it and actually eat real food. So I'm Jersey City.
Everywhere, bro. It's getting out of control, man.
Facts.
All right, so we're gonna get right into it. I am one of your hosts, Sam Legacy, MOWETA. My other host, GQN.
You already know the vibes, man. We in the building. Unscripted Podcast.
You know what I'm saying? And my other host.
Yo, I'm here too.
Isn't that crazy?
Yo, it's official now. Like last week they inducted me, and then after the show there was all this hazing they did. It was pretty cool. They were beating me and stuff like that. Maybe like run a mile, and they didn't give me no water.
Keep drinking that, y'all.
Yeah, so about that. He owed me $50 still. Nah, but so back to Vince. Please tell us all about yourself. What started you on this journey? I know we were talking off camera, so now it's like, okay, you're on camera. Tell the world. Yeah.
This journey, I can honestly say, started from an ex-girlfriend in college. I went to City College of New York and majored in political science. You know, I was on the basketball team. I was dating this girl. I don't know if I say her name because now in this day you get sued for no reason. But she was the center of the basketball team, so we're both like big mother. I don't know if I curse on this, so we're just really tall.
No, you curse.
And
wait, you were dating Brittany Gardner. That's what you're telling us. All right, continue.
So one day I was corny. Like I said a lot of jokes and stuff like that. And then one day she said, "No, you're really funny." And I was like, "Yeah, I appreciate that." She said, "But you're corny like Nick Cannon." And I went, "Okay." She's like, "You should try stand up." And most people get insulted. They'd be like, "Oh, Nick Cannon, But then my brain is very optimistic, and I went, "All right, I'm corny like Nick Cannon, but Nick Cannon is also banging Mariah Carey." So corny gets me Mariah Carey. Done. So I said I'm gonna be corny for the rest of my life. And from there, I was in my dorm room, never forget. I woke up, it was like a Saturday, I didn't have practice, and I said, no, I'm gonna try stand-up comedy. Went online, got an open mic. The first one canceled. Second one, I met this comedian, we start going around, he finds out it's my first time doing comedy. And he said, all right, we're going to go to a place called Comics. Now, on 14th Street, if you're a comedian out there, you know all the big comedy clubs, Broadway Comedy Club, Comedy Cellar, all the stuff. Comics was on 14th Street on the A train, and they had a basement lounge called the Ochi's Lounge. That's where all the new comics did like their bits and whatever. And I went to open mic. I did my bit. It went decently well. And one thing about the story I never forget is that there was a lady in the back, and she said, "Oh my God, you did really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's my first time." "Oh my God, it's your first time? That's great." And this guy looked just like Alec Baldwin was getting a drink. And they were together. And I said, "Anyone tells you look like Alec Baldwin?" And the wife was like, "Oh, he gets that all the time." And he's like, "Hey, man, you're pretty funny up there. Let me buy you a drink." Buys you a Jack and Coke, blah, blah, blah. Funny thing is that years later, I tell the story, and my brother, I love him to death, Anthony, takes out a phone and said, "Did the woman look like this?" Shows me a picture. I'm like, "Yeah, that's her. That was Alec Baldwin, you idiot." I was like, "Oh, I didn't freaking know."
Wow, that's
But
crazy.
Wow.
so I was like, ah. But that from comedy, I started hosting. And if you're a stand-up comedian in New York, nobody wants to host. Nobody. If they do, either they lying or they actually, a little chance they do. I took it as an opportunity because since nobody wanted this position when it came to a show, I took it. So what it got me was more stage time. Key thing with comedy is stage time. So I would get into different clubs and different shows just because I would host. Now, host doesn't have to be the funniest person. Actually, they don't want him to be the funniest person because they're still a main act and everything, which I'm not saying I'm the best comedian out there, but I know how to read a room. That opened up so many other doors. So now I'm getting to know big comic names like Greer Barnes. He used to open up for Dave Chappelle. Now I'm chilling with people from like Sherrod Small and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, these guys are known in New York, and I'm like the little kid that's going around. And you know, Artie Fuqua was like one of my mentors, like my big brothers. He was the one in the car accident with Tracy Morgan, and he started taking me around. So all of a sudden, I'm doing all this comedy, doing it for over 7-8 years. I'm starting to get my bearings, and I'm decently funny, but I'm hosting. And then another opportunity came out of nowhere of hosting weddings. That was from a comedian hitting me up saying, "Yo, you're a dope host in New York. I got this gig, Sweet 16. Can you do Sweet 16s?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do Sweet 16s. Do it." It was paying good money because the comedians in New York, we get paid like $25, $50. You making a lot of money being a comedian in New York. You're not. When you go out other states and stuff, you're making bread. So I do this. I get like $400 or $500. I'm like, okay, doing it. I'm in this Sweet 16. It's an Indian Sweet 16. When I say Indian, because they just spend money. We're in a catering hall, and this place fits like 250 people, and there's like 40 kids in this big ass hall. I meet this my DJ that I work with till this day, DJ Amlan, and all I'm supposed to do is just entertain these kids.
Hold on.
The birth.
Hold on.
What?
I gotta cut you off. You
Yeah.
said DJ Amon?
Amlan.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say big shout out to my boy DJ.
That would have been crazy because
Ram.
it's amazing that you're in the same industry that we do as well too. So I was like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, man, 6 degrees separation is real though. Like like the people you rub shoulders with, you never guess that. Like, yo, I know this person from that. Like, so our community is very small. As big as it is, it's very small. If you know people, you know people. But continue the story. So the birthday girl is supposed to change. Supposed to take like 5-10 minutes. She takes like a half an hour. These kids are restless. And I look at the DJ I'm working with. I said, "Hey, man, I could do a real quick, clean 5-minute, 10-minute comedy skit." He's like, "You do stand-up comedy?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. It's simple. The kids. All right." So I do some jokes about Pokemon, about flip phones. You dial 3 times to get, F and shit like that. So just real clean stuff. And it's working. Everybody's having a good time. But in the middle of a joke, she starts walking down without missing a beat. It's like saying, "Oh, yeah, Unscripted Podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Melissa." And from that put me into another world because he says, "Have you ever hosted a wedding before?" And I said, "When I was in college." He said, "All right, I'm going to put you in the Indian scene." Then that catapulted to another form of life in which I've traveled to almost 3 different countries. I've been to Mexico 6 times within the last 2 years, even during the pandemic. Wow. And then, boom, that was from comedy. And then I got another random message from a LinkedIn email in which I work with a company called FIBA 3x3. And from there, I was able to travel to China. I was able to travel to Egypt. I had tickets to go to Qatar. So all this is like the condensed story. The foundation was stand-up comedy, and it literally branched out to so many different aspects of my life.
All right, so we have
That's beautiful, man. Yo, that's a dope story. I could really say.
Facts. So
Appreciate
we have several questions. Actually, the first one was, do any comedians influence you? That's the real.
Yeah.
The first question.
Yes. So this is always an easy question for me. People say who your favorite comedian is. Like I got my gods and then my favorite comedians. It's like my gods and then my mortals.
Okay.
You know, my gods are Eddie Murphy, Raw, Delirious, Bomb.
Okay.
Bernie Mac, second right there. Richard Pryor,
All right.
and then Dave Chappelle. Bomb! Right there. Those are my gods. Now, give homage to Red Fox, Dick Gregory and stuff, but those four were like, all right, I will always look at them and try to emulate them. But then under that, my number one comedian was Robin Williams. Live on Broadway. Absolutely loved it. He had this great bit about golfing. I take up golf and I put it down a golfer hole. Like, it was just hilarious how he used different characters and how animated he was. Wasn't scared to be himself. Then I start going ham. I'm like, you know what? I'm a black comedian. I know who I am, but let's venture out. So I started listening to like Jeff Dunham, Ron White. That's like redneck, like white comedy. Then I'm listening to Chad Daniels and I'm going to different ways. And then it comes to a point like comedy is comedy. Funny is funny.
Fact.
If you find it entertaining, watch it. So I think sometimes people pigeonhole themselves in like one genre and go, oh, this is all I should listen to because I'm a black man. I can only listen to, D.L. Hughley and Bernie Mac. I can't listen to them people. No, listen to everything. I was listening to Jeff Foxworthy. I was listening to all of them. So the top one was, again, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, of course. I tried to do his jokes, but then went down to Robin Williams. That really kept me going of like being yourself, using your acting chops on stage and just getting the crowd involved.
Yeah, I'm laughing over here because of my man DJ MVP.
Yo, don't let the lights and cameras throw y'all. We filmed a movie tonight, and y'all gonna be in the shit.
All right, everybody relax. Okay, wait. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this right. We're gonna do this right. We're gonna make a good time. Right? It's an unscripted podcast. Unscripted podcast. All these motherfuckers right there. Yes.
Yo, I can't, man.
That's what you could do. Your Uncle Joey, right there. That would've been perfect.
Oh man. Cut it out. Oh man, yeah. Oh man. So the next question, do you like to push boundaries in any of your comedy?
I used to, not gonna lie, I used to, but in this climate and where I see my goal, which I have a mantra every day I say, which I'm gonna be better than Steve Harvey with more wealth than Ryan Seacrest. I'm going to host the Olympics, America's Got Talent, and the Oscars. I'm going to travel the world in someone else's dollar. I've learned from one of my favorite quotes from Eleanor Roosevelt, learn from other people's mistakes because you cannot live long enough to make them all. You saw what happened to Trevor Noah, Kevin Hart. They had a chance to host the Oscars, and what does social media do? They go back to the files. They go back to the old stuff you posted and stuff and use that against you. So I used to try to push the boundary, and then I realized, no, I want to be on that. I want to be in that quote unquote safe world. I mean, there was a comedian, I won't say his name, but he a good can't say coworker, but definitely like friend of mine, I could say. And one day I'm in LA, I'm at the Comedy Store, and he says, yo, Vince, let's go over some jokes. So we're going over some jokes, whatever. He looked at my face and said, hey man, you ain't gonna make no difference in comedy. You ain't. Wow. All right. But you're gonna be very successful. You're gonna do a whole bunch of corporate gigs. You're gonna probably get your own TV show, but you ain't gonna push the boundary. Damn. And it hit me because I was a young comedian. I was like, he's kind of right, because I was trying to push the boundary, but it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. Now, if it's talking about things that affect me, because there was like a good 3-4 years, all my comedy went from me being Jamaican Chinese to family and like travel to just Black Lives Matter, being a black man in the street, doing a joke that kind of goes off saying I wear a vest and tie as a bulletproof vest because I look like a safe black man at the end of the day. So I could walk around white neighborhoods, but he goes, that's an upstanding citizen, but why do I need to? So the reason why I bring it up is that my girl at the time was like, why you keep talking about race on stage? I was like, because that's what's going on. At the end of the day, I keep saying I'm Jamaican Chinese, but I cannot, stray away from the fact, because I walk into a club. Yeah, you see Vince Chang, you're expecting some dude that's going to do your laundry or cook your food. But then you see me and you're like, oh, he's black. That's how I am everywhere. So I can't get away from that. Yeah. But that was like the only time I tried to push the boundary with stuff. But then I was like more of a storyteller, like kind of like Eddie Murphy, and like my travels, going to China, going to Egypt, I was like, all right, I'm more of an entertainer, like a Steve Harvey, of just getting people all comfortable in the room, ready to have a good time, bring positivity, and then just showing them a good show. But yeah, pushing the boundary, I stopped doing. I don't know if I will start doing it again because again, with my goals are like right there. Like I am like right there of hosting the Olympics. So it's like I don't want to mess you up for something else.
So the next question we have is, how do you deal with the hecklers? And
Oh,
yeah, and is there anything off limits?
no. So there's when you study comedy, there's three different ways you can deal with a heckler. The first one is, of course, get at them. But then you get in a grudging match. You go back and forth, and you better be funny because there's a lot of times a heckler may be funnier than you, and then you're gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah, man. I can imagine those moments, man.
Yo, it gets hard because then also they say a funnier joke than you, and you're like, shit, that's
How do you come
good.
back from that? How do you rebound?
Yo, it really like that, man.
Yeah, so that's it. But then the second one, of course, is just like using security and say, yo, get him kicked out, because then that causes a whole scene. The third one, is actually going silent. Because me as a host, most of the time, I've already have my crowd on my side. It's very easy to get a crowd, and if you got them, it's hard to lose them. But once you lose them, it's done. So once you hold them, you hold them. And I've been very blessed that every time a heckler was there, I would just stop speaking or I stopped entertaining them, and then the crowd would go off on the heckler. Like, yo, we're here for a show. Like, why are you ruining this?
Yeah.
And I've seen professional comedians do different aspects. I've seen comedians destroy hecklers. I've seen comedians get security and get them out and then make a funnier joke from it. And I've seen comedians just go, all right, put the mic right there and just sit there and just wait. And the crowd goes against a dude or a girl and they go like, can you get this person out of here? Because we all paid money for this show and it's just one dude out of 200 that's ruining it. Okay. So my personal thing would just be like, I just get real quiet and be like, all right, cool. So you guys want to continue the show?
Yeah.
Because if not, I get my check no matter what. So it's up to you.
All right. So the next question we have is, a statement, I guess. It says each morning on your IG you share morning positive affirmations. What motivated you to do that?
Dr. David Feely. I can honestly say it. So years ago, before the pandemic, I was working for a hospital, and I would say these quotes. I got a lot of quotes in my mind. Like Quincy Jones, no matter the task, big or small, do it well and not at all. Albus Dumbledore, never let regret be your most loyal companion. I've got a lot of this knowledge in my brain from reading and stuff. One day, I'm just talking to my friends, and I'm saying all this positive stuff, saying these stories, and then one day, this guy named David Feely, I've always given homage, he said, you should do that on your Instagram. Just do it in the morning and do it. I said, okay. So I did it for like 2-3 weeks straight. Just found a quote, I'll read it, and that's it. I'll do it everywhere where I am. 3 weeks go by, we're playing on the same basketball team, and then he comes to me and said, hey man, where's my motivation? I was like, what your motivation? Dude, every morning before I do my shift, I do my workout, and on my way to work, I open up Instagram and I go immediately to your page and I watch your 15-second motivation to get me through the day. I'm like, get the out of here. You are a doctor. You're making 6 figures. I am broke and nowhere near to your level of success. And you're coming to me for motivation? Get the out of here. And he said, just do it. So I started doing it and it just became a thing. Before you know it, everywhere I go, I did it. And to me, it came to a point of, oh, shoot. I don't have to affect hundreds of thousands of people, but if I affect one person, I did my job. And I would get messages from, now with my travels, people from around the world, from the simplest thing of, oh, you're helping me learn English with your motivations, to, yo, this is exactly what I needed to hear today to get me started. Now, all of them are not going to hit. Some of them are going to be a miss, all right? But it just happens. But if I can get like 1 or 2 like people hit me up a day from a week, and that's what, 7 days, that's 14, like literally say, yo, thank you, I needed to hear this, or facts, I just need a reminder, then that's it. So I just started doing it for me, because I keep myself positive, but then also spreading positivity should be the gift that everyone does. So that what keeps me motivated, doing it. People coming to me saying, keep doing it. And these are successful people. These are people who have money. I mean, we all want to have money, but these people are doing it. I'm like, all right. And then people who have great career just going like, yo, keep doing what you're doing and just keep this positive going. So that's where I get it from.
Dope. That's dope. So the next question is,
Is your boo loving? Is your boo? Is your boo?
she said, share something funny that happened to you on stage, please, and thank you.
Share something that happened to me on. The funniest thing that's probably ever happened to me on stage was, all right. I was doing a show. Oh, okay. It's not funny. Oh my god. So I was doing a show down in the village, a place called Grizzly Pear, and we're having a great time. It's a good show, and all of a sudden there's a girl and she starts bugging out. She's like bugging out. And then she just started being weird, just being weird in the corner. And I'm like, what the freak is wrong with this girl? All right. So I started joking about it, and she's joking too. We're going back and forth. I'm like, why is she being squiggly? There's a lot of squiggliness. So everyone's looking at her. I'm trying to control the crowd. I'm hosting. And I go, yo, I got to talk to this girl. So I bring up the comedian next, and I pull her back. I say, hey, you okay? Is everything all right? And literally, it's in the bag and people are seeing it. And she goes, no, everything's going great. Everything's fine. You know? I'm just saying you're really, really funny. You're just really, really funny. I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate you. It's like, yeah, but anyway, so me and my friends, we're from Ohio right now, and we're staying in the Mexican Garden, and I'm on acid right now, and I want to have a hot dog. And so I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Wait, come back. Wait, what? Come here. She's like, yeah, I'm on acid. Do you want some? I was like, no, I don't want that. But she's like, no, it's okay. I got you. I gotta go back on stage. So I go back on stage, and then she's like, no, I'll give you acid. I'm like, shut up. No, I don't do drugs, people. And she takes out this licorice.
Oh.
It's licorice. And she's put it in my hand while like I'm on the stage. And then she immediately says, oh, I shouldn't do that. And then sits back down. And I go, wow. Okay, the suspense. So then I do some bit, I take it off, and I come back off stage. I'm like, hey, what happened? It's like, oh, no, let me put it in the plastic for you. I'm like, why? She said, this is so strong that if it hits your hand, you immediately get high.
Lord.
Oh, no.
What kind of drugs are you doing? And why would you give that to me when I'm in the middle of a show? She's like, I don't know. I was trying to be nice. So after that, I was like, I don't accept anything for anybody on stage after that. I was like, nope. This is it. But that's one of the funniest things that's probably happened to me on stage and some other things.
Did you get high though?
No, it was in my fridge for 3 years. I just took it home and kept it there, expecting some white person to be like, do you got acid? Like, be a good host. People say, hey, you got coffee? Hey, man, you got some chocolate? You got acid? I'm like, yeah, man, I got acid. Yeah, right there.
You never know.
I'm that dude.
No, you get a hippie coming over and you need some acid tag.
I'm not a drug dealer. I do not condone drugs or whatever. I just got it.
You just have extra pharmaceuticals lying around. You're good.
Bro, I worked in a pharmacy for 2 years. I wanted to become a pharmacist when I first got into college. I was a biochem major. And what makes me laugh to this day, because I'm so hyper, everybody thinks I'm on something. Everybody thinks I'm on drugs or something. I can't drink coffee. It makes me go to sleep. If I ever try cannabis, like I have 13 voices in my head and they all come out at once. So I'm real hyper. And all the drugs I just stay away from. But growing up, I don't know what it is. Like living in Harlem for so long, everyone thought I was the plug though. Like no matter what, they're like, yo, Vince, can I get this? I'm like, why do you think I can get that for you? I don't know. I just got this feeling. I go, you're right though. So when do you need it? So like, it was just weird growing up. Like I just had a lot of friends, like a lot of good friends. I'm like, yeah, I need to get this. All right, give me something. I can't say that story because I don't know the statute of limitations for that. But anyway, it's been a fun couple of years.
Yo. All right. So one of our requests was, can you please tell us a dirty joke?
Pause. Big pause.
That's what she wants.
I said big pause.
All right. A dirty joke or a wrong joke?
All right, throw two in there.
All right, cool.
Throw two in
there.
Throw two in there.
One of the dirty jokes I wrote was like, look, sometimes sex gets boring and there's different kind of positions. I mean, you guys ever heard like the Superman? You finish on girl's back, you put the covers on, and then it gets stuck, and then she comes and she got a cape. There's the Mike Tyson, is that when you finish her face and then you punch her in the nose. Like, it's weird stuff. I think I have a safe one that's good for everybody. It's called The Lion King. Okay? The Lion King, I think everyone can do this position. It's very simple. So you get your lady and you get a missionary position. And you go, Oh yeah, just hit it good. All right. And then just before you about to release, put them kids where they're supposed to be. You aim right in her belly button, just right in the belly button, right there. And it's in there, and she's tired, she's breathing, and then you take your thumb, you put it in her belly button, then you go to her forehead and go, Simba.
Oh.
That's the Lion King.
That is OD.
Oh, what is going on? Oh, very good. DJ MVP.
Nah, I'm weak. Always on cue, MVP. Always on cue.
Hey, banana, you got this banana. Oh, banana, you got this banana.
Nah. Oh, no. That's OD.
I wrote that joke when I was like, I remember I did that. I actually tried to do it to her. I remember one time I did that joke on stage. And a girl came home with me. She's like, "Are you going to do the Lion King to me?" I was like, "It's a joke. I'll try it."
There's always a first time for something to happen.
Oh, you don't know. Yes. There was Pride Rock, and it was very hard. Anyway, pause. But yeah, it was that's one of my dirty jokes. There's a wrong joke I have. I don't know if I can say that one.
Throw.
Wait.
What the hell?
Wait, no, I gotta say wait. The reason why I'm saying wait, because remember he said sometimes they go back and they look at the footage, and I don't want to be responsible. Here we are. Let me go right here. Unscripted Entertainment will not be responsible for anybody that's not going to be successful in their life. All right. So again, it's a disclaimer.
All right, this is I can say this joke because it's kind of true, and I heard this joke in church. Great premise.
In church? Out of all places? Church? Look at God.
It was gold. All right, so
tell him what you
Well, damn, we ain't slaves, bro. God damn it.
So it was in a Catholic church, and one of my friends looked at me and said, "Hey, Vince, you ever wonder why all altar boys' hair part like this?"
Oh no.
I was like, "No, why?" He says, "Because the priest is always going, 'Don't worry, son, it's not a sin.'"
Oh. Nah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there goes our show. Thank you so much for coming.
He was an altar boy too, which is crazy. Because this is a true story. The reason why I say that joke is in my Catholic church that I went to as a kid, our priest was actually convicted of touching kids, of being a molester. And what pissed me off, out of 15 altar boys, he touched 14, and I was the only one he didn't. And for years, I went, what was wrong with me? Like, was I not Catholic enough? Was I not holy enough? Like, it really made me wonder when I was, cause I didn't understand it. And it was a true story. I was like, yo, really? He touched everybody? He's like, why didn't he touch a black kid? I was like, oh, I know why. I would have snitched. I would have snitched in a second. I don't care about Jesus when it comes to that. Like, Jesus don't want me to do this. Yo, Father, he did that. Yeah, so that's a true story. I'm not gonna say which church. I don't want to get like sued.
No. We ain't throwing no names out there.
No, that's too funny. The next question I personally have for you is
Okay.
Right now with everything, how do you remain in this mindset of staying positive and just being able to keep yourself motivated? Because the one thing about being the funny person, right, is people think that
you're always okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you're
naturally,
always okay.
yeah.
You're not going through shit. Like let's Sam. Let's get a good joke. Let's solve our problems, buddy.
Pretty much. No, you're right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So how do you essentially find your motivation or your whatever to keep you going per se?
So this is a very compounded question. So rest in peace, people like Ron Williams, Twitch, who just passed away, Anthony Bourdain, and you see all these people who are on the outside seem great, and then on the inside has a whole bunch of turmoil. And yeah, you're right. I am that person that always has a smile on my face, and yeah, I got my days, but I have to thank three main things.
Jesus.
One, my
okay,
One was my grandmother who got me into Jesus. You know, she's my grandmother from Jamaica, like true Yardie, born in Jamaica, Constant Spring, Kingston. Valerie Chang. She always taught me, on the days you don't feel right, think about what you have versus what you don't have. And you're always going to see you have more than what you don't have. And she fought cancer and still fighting cancer for over 13, 15 years.
Wow, holy shit.
And she could have gave up whenever she went. She had osteoporosis. She had the spines taken out, and she could give up whenever. And she's still right next to the Lord and still is grateful, just like in the book of Job, no matter what, is still thanking the Lord for life.
Yeah.
The second thing is travel. Once you get outside America, to anyone's listening, travel. Look out how the world really live, because we talk about how America is the greatest country in the world, and we can arguably say it's not for certain reasons, but we have a lot more privilege than you think.
That's a fact.
When you
A lot of people
you
don't
see
understand
the
that.
poverty in China, you see the poverty in the Dominican Republic, you see the poverty in Egypt, you go, yo, our homeless people have access to clean water. Think about that. They have access to food if they really want it. You have people who are working full-time jobs who can't bathe their children. You have people who can't eat a full meal. So when you take a second, and yes, it goes down this big, black hole of, but then you think about other people's problems. What about, but just think about what you have. You are able to do main things effortlessly, and it's the simple things. I always tell someone, if I woke up today, it's a good day. If I can see out my eyes, it's a good day. I'm going to the bathroom and there's no one wiping my butt. It's a good day. And the last thing is that I worked for a hospital for many years. I was in charge of a rehab facility, which I've never regret. I took that position. And I would see patients come in who had strokes and hemophilia, basically like half of your body is paralyzed. And they go to this rehab, and all of a sudden they go from a wheelchair to then a walker to a cane. And I'll never forget, there was a little girl, and she was probably like 15, 14 years old. And she had multiple sclerosis, MS. So she had no control of anything. And she's in a wheelchair, and she looks a little funny. Everything is off. She also had a stroke, and this is a girl. She's a tube in her throat. It's sad to see. She comes into the lobby in a wheelchair, and it's like God showing me something, and she just drives right in front of me. She looks at me. I look at her, and then she starts doing donuts with her wheelchair, like she was NASCAR, just going and just laughing and smiling, having the best time of her life. Then she looks at me. I said, "What you doing, little princess?" She goes, and just drives away. And in my mind, everybody can say, "Yo, what that lady doing?" She's like, no. She has every reason to be upset, to curse the world out. She was given a horrible hand, but she's still playing it and finding joy. My mother has taught me, and my mother has a lot of great sayings. If you can find the joy in anything you do, one, never let anyone take it away from you. If you have joy being a garbage man, if you have joy, scraping up barnacles at the bottom of a damn boat, if you have joy, doing whatever you need to do to go through your life, and you find joy in that, you hold. Don't anybody saying, "Oh my God, you stink. Oh my God, it's terrible." No, screw them, because they're not living your life. And two, my mother has also taught me this. Once you start to appreciate the small blessings, as I just said, it will lead to bigger blessings.
That's true.
We don't need to be here right now. And again, and they all come together here. We can walk outside. There's no bombs dropping. And as dramatic as that sounds, go to another country. That's their everyday.
Yeah.
That's their everyday. And especially with this pandemic, I don't talk about it a lot. I'll talk about it here because I trust you guys.
Hey, yo, look.
Appreciate you.
Hey.
First time Unscripted.
you know, exclusive.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I mean?
Exclusive right now.
So during the pandemic, I volunteered on COVID floors. When I was working, and the reason why I say it quietly, because I don't know if I was supposed to. I remember as soon as the pandemic hit, I went to my manager and my supervisor. I said, where can I help? And of course, we didn't know what was going on. Everybody's working from home, and they're like, yeah, we'll find you a place to help. I was like, all right, cool. I gave it a week, and they were doing the right thing. They're like not trying to lose an employee. We didn't know what it was. So again, I had friends, and I said, all right, I'm calling all my doctor and nurse friends. That day I called one of them. I was on a floor that day. And what I saw was humanity at its highest and at its lowest. All the things you heard from the news, all the things that I ignore that, because it's like, to me, it's the best analogy is when people talk about war and go, war is not that bad. I could be a soldier. And they say, oh yeah, it's cool. And they're in a bar just yapping. And there's a soldier at the end of the bar. And then just looking at him like, y'all don't know shit. But you know what? Keep yapping. Just keep yapping. I saw young people die. I saw old people die. I saw nurses doing their best to keep people alive. I've heard conversations in which doctors had to say, we can't save this person. We need to save that person. So this person has to go. And it's not their fault because we were understaffed, we were underprepared. But there was a saving grace in that because I saw miracles. I saw people coming together. And I like to toot my own home a little bit because that particular floor I'm always grateful to. They made me feel so loved because I wasn't a nurse. I wasn't a doctor. I just cleaned because we thought it was like, so I would just clean things and I would organize stuff and I'll make sure that these things called, PG pens are here, or these syringes are there, or there's something called the kangaroo pump, which is basically help with feeding is there. I would find different things everywhere. And then I'll also talk to them. Talk to anything but the pandemic. You like the Yankees? We'll talk about baseball. You like anime? Let's talk about anime. And I remember the second day I was volunteering and the floors felt heavy. Like it just felt heavy. And the reason why I say it like this, because nurses are used to probably losing a patient a month, maybe 2. They were losing about 4 or 5 a day. And they lost 4 or 5 that morning. And as a comedian, it prepares me for everything because I always think that God gives you different, challenges and puts you in different positions to prepare you for something greater. And everything I've done in life has prepared me for something greater. When it came from hosting, when it came from doing basketball, when it came from working in the hospital, and I was able to read a room, and I just knew it wasn't time to be funny. Do my job, be where I can be, and leave. I was doing that for about 2-3 days. The 5th day comes, I walk in, and the charge nurse, who's a hard goes, Vince! And I go, oh, I thought I did something wrong. And she gives me this big hug, and she just says, we all just want to thank you. I'm like, for what? Look, you've been here a week, and I'm not going to lie to you, you make this floor seem lighter. You come in with this positive energy. Like nothing phases you. And we're going through a whole bunch of stuff, and yet you still come in smiling because there was a true story that there was a nurse who was trying to get the IV tubes and he couldn't get the IV tubes, and then he accidentally, sliced the saline bag, so it was all wet. I'm thinking I gotta clean this up because they're gonna slip. He was so frustrated, he actually cursed me out right there on the floor. You just get the fuck away from me! Just stop! And I clean it up, I eat it, I walk to the other room, start doing my job. He found me a half an hour later and apologized profusely. Dude, I'm so sorry. I said, look at me. I am nobody when it comes to this. You are the soldiers at work. You are the warriors trying to save. You're the one dealing with this death. I'm cleaning up water. If you need to scream at me, if you need to swing at me, I shouldn't do nothing because right now you're playing God against your will. So don't worry about it. And this happens, I do with everybody. And she says, just keep that positivity. I volunteered for 3 months. No one really knew. I didn't want nothing extra. I didn't want the people to know because it was the right thing to do. Because not to sound morbid, I had nobody. Now, yeah, I got a beautiful family in the sense of my mom, my sister, my niece, and nephew, but I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. If I died, yes, my family would miss me, but there's no one I'm really responsible for. And what I wanted the world to do was to do that. When we came together, we fought this thing. Anytime we come together, it's Black History Month, even though we go back and forth. When we came together on our marches, change happened. Magic happens when people come and congregate and literally have a same common goal. And that's what we could do with the pandemic. Come together. Think about your neighbor. Love that neighbor. The reason why this country, quote unquote, was so great, even though it was a back of slaves, was have this whole thing of, love that. Like, literally, everyone here is for the one thing of the American dream.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I saw so much. And to make this long answer short about how I stay positive is that when you really take a second and realize that your life can be gone in a second,
Yeah.
why am I going to waste being negative? There's 1,440 minutes in a day, which translates, I think, to almost 16,000 seconds. I always forget that because Denzel Washington was talking about it. But I'm going to allow this person to take 1 minute out of my day and then ruin the rest. Why? Why am I going to sit here being mad at somebody, which, again, I have my days, but for a long period of time in which in that time I could be doing something positive of reading a book, or like I'm reading Barack Obama's book. I just finished Will Smith's book. Watch an anime that I love and laugh and stuff, or even being on a dope podcast called Unscripted Podcast. Make sure you follow them there on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. These guys are dope. You have no idea.
It, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. But you think about that, and it's a practice, anything you practice long enough, you become good at. And I practice having positive, affirmations. Try not to be so negative on yourself. Thinking, look, at the end of the day, you're fine.
Fact.
You're happy. You're healthy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we can just go on taking a moment and just reflecting on things that are very simple. I mean, there's simple things of like, there's men out there who's never had their first kiss. Grown men never felt that. And then to go moment, have men and women never able to know the feeling of love, having to care for somebody. People like this, like right here, what we're doing right now, there's millions and millions of people just wish someone would call them, put me on a podcast. I just want to be heard. I'm doing that. Y'all doing it right now. You got a studio. Y'all look good. You got all your hair. I don't. So like y'all doing good. But if you keep practicing every day of appreciating what you have, it then becomes rudimentary. It becomes a routine. It becomes second nature. So then you're not trying to be happy. You just are. But at the end of the day, happiness isn't something that you have a right to, which is very hard for me to say. Happiness is a choice.
That's a fact.
So you got to choose to be happy. And that's how I choose to be happy. I choose to be positive. I choose to be energetic. And the last thing to land this long plane is that I think every person has 3 pillars. There's your mind, your body, and your spirit. And here's the thing. Sometimes you're just weak. Things don't go through. Everything just crumbles. Sometimes your body's so strong, but your mind is weak, but it's so strong, you become a robot. So whatever you get done, but it's just mechanical. I'm just going to push through. Sometimes your body can be weak, but your mind is strong. And you see that all the time. You see people push themselves by just making sure I am not going to quit on myself. I will die trying. But I think your spirit, the thing that gets you up in the morning, it could be religion, it could be faith, it could be just pride. The thing that gives you a smile when you think about it and gives you that drive, when it's strong enough, it will fuel your body, it will fuel your mind, and you will accomplish anything you want. But you got to find what's that thing that makes you tick. Mine is making people laugh. Mine is making people smile. Mine is changing that one person a day. I don't need to change 1 million people, just one. And then that's what keeps me going.
I got a question for you before it gets to the end of the show, because I want to actually recap it at the end of the show. Where can people see your performances?
So I was normally at Comic Strip, Stand Up New York, and Broadway Comedy Club. Because of the other things that we haven't gotten into, that I've now been hosting weddings, because now I mean, I'm booked for almost 10 weddings, just the first part of the wedding season, so it's a couple of months, and I'm booked until 2024. And now with also FIBA 3x3, I've been grateful to travel again the world, and I have to talk. I have a meeting on Friday actually to find out where I'm going to be. So comedy is taking a backseat. It's been more of me hosting and performing, doing my other jobs, because I have like 6 other jobs. I'm a director of operations from one company. I sit on a board of directors for a print press.
West Indian man.
Blood
You must
clot.
have
No,
it.
Maria Yardi.
I gotta applaud that. Gotta applaud that.
You must have at least 3.
It's funny you say that because
it's like, yeah, make sure you get them jobs, yo.
Oh, what you mean you know
Yeah.
my work? Eh?
yo, so as you know, as you see, my mother's Jamaican Chinese, my dad is Black, Irish, Scottish, and Italian. But the Jamaican I'm really proud of, and the funny, I'm a Jamaican. I'm American. I'm American.
Literally.
But yeah, really, literally. But the one thing, every time my mom goes back to her friends, like, yo, how Vincent? You're not Vincent. Vincent, how Vincent doing, man? The boy, he grew, he big man now. And he said, oh man, this man got like 6 jobs. Like, oh, the man, true yardy, true yardy. He got 6 jobs. What you do? So it's always working. And again, it's different kinds of revenue and stuff like that. But yeah, I tried. And this was all accidental. Just me just being myself, and then opportunities just arose. And then I said, you know what? If I'm going to fail with flair. And I don't believe in failure. It's just all lessons. So I just kept doing, and I'm here. So that's why the performances have taken a step back, because of my other responsibilities and trying to create, my Chang dynasty, to make a dynasty as secure as possible.
Wasn't the Chang Dynasty that happened already? So you're trying to bring back the Chang Dynasty, huh? Take over the whole world.
Well, the Chin dynasty, but Chang dynasty, like, for example, I think I'm one of the first out of my immediate family, definitely, to own a company. I created Chang Dynasty Productions LLC last year.
Yeah, big
So
claps,
Yo,
claps,
big hand clap, because 2023, black man have to own business. Who own it?
whip up me out. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a different kind of place. Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh man, damn, bro, like time just flies.
time
Yo, I didn't realize it's 47 though. I was like, yo.
It just flies like by the second. And I wanted to actually get more into, you having this West Indian / Asian / and how did that kind of sculpt you? Because I know you mentioned your grandmother first. And I know the mindset of most West Indians, I'm part Haitian, the other part is Nigerian. So, it was, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. You have no choice. You know what I mean? So,
Sac passe.
you know what I mean? Et naboule. You know how it goes. So, the question is, how did your family embrace you taking this role as a, comedian and everything else, and doing all these other ventures? Did you get any type of backlash because you decided to take this role?
You seen the facial expression.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
man.
they're all-
So
Yeah.
the
that motive.
funny story is
What you
when I
mean?
was
You're not gonna go to school? Nah, but-
yeah, it's good. So when I was a kid, I was, everyone's seen Family Matters here, right? Everybody's seen Family
yeah.
Matters. I should send you the picture, but I was Steve Urkel, the epitome of Steve Urkel. Book smart, big glasses, picked on every day. I had a bully, and also I mumbled. I didn't speak. I would get yelled at by my mother for not speaking up.
Wow.
Like what? And then she was the Jamaican one, so speak up. Yeah, look a boy, man. I have that little girl. Yo, speak up, and I'd be like, bye. Stop. So me going into comedy was just a shock to everybody. It was like, this kid who spoke, but I don't want to put anybody under the bus, and I've always prepared this because I want this to be my Oprah Winfrey kind of like interview. But you had many people supported it. It was like, yo, do what you want, because I went to school. I'm the only one that has a degree right now in my like immediate, like out of my brothers and sisters, love them and stuff, but I have a 4-year degree. I graduated with honors. I have a full-time job. And I started doing this after I got a full-time job, and it just exploded. So I was doing everything right. I was going to join the military. I was going to go Air Force. But my mother is Jamaican. It's the funniest thing to me. I said, Mom, I'm going to join the Air Force. I was 15 years old. Well, you're not joining the Air Force. I'm like, why? One, you're too tall for the cockpit and your head too big for the helmet. I'm like, all right. All right. And it's my mom. She ain't gonna lie to me. And I'll never forget this. Yo, on my mother, on her, I'm at my college that I went, Malloy College, playing Division II basketball. There is a captain right there from the Air Force saluting me. I go right to him, and I'm about 6'2", 6'3". And I look at him, I say, how you doing, sir? How you doing, son? How you doing? You interested in joining the Air Force? I'm like, whoa, no, I can't, because apparently I'm too tall for the cockpit and this big old head, and you ain't got no helmets for it. And he looked at me like I had 8 heads. He's like, what? There's a height requirement. You're perfect. We need you. I call my mom, want to cuss her out up and down, like, what do you mean? Okay. And then this is what her logic was. Because it's true, because you're Haitian and whoever else is Caribbean. There was a time that Caribbeans, West Indians, would join the military to get citizenship. They'll do their 4 years, and when they came back of their service, they would find something, and then deport them back to their country. Right? Oh, really? So I understood that, but I looked at my mother in her face and said, Mom, that's all cool. I was born in Mount Sinai, Manhattan. Where are they going to deport me? Back to Brooklyn? I'm an American. And then she's like, I just didn't want you to join the military. And I said, okay, cool. But then, it came to a point that I was at the point of getting into comedy. And then there was one person who remained unnamed. And this is one of them true stories. I had a show, and they came. And I looked up to this person. And I mentioned them on stage. It was nothing crazy, just mentioned them. And they came, and they said, hey, I see what you're doing. It's cool. Do me a favor. Don't you ever goddamn say my name on that stage. Don't you ever do that. It's one of my first shows. And I looked up, and I was like, okay, call it a day. Till this day, I don't name that name. What pissed me off was that all my uncles and aunts and cousins started to come to these shows, and it's a 10-year grind. And, it's the old saying, it takes 10 years because of overnight success. And they're seeing me traveling. They're seeing me great. And they're like, yo, Vinny's doing it, man. Everybody calls me Vinny in my family. Yo, Chang is there. And they call me Vince now. I'm not Vincent no more. So I'm like, yeah, that same person hit me up not too long ago, actually. Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, yeah. Everything good? Like, everything's fine. So, man, I hear you say so much stuff on stage about this person, that person. Yo, why'd you start talking about me? And we got some funny stories. And I said, hold on. You told me.
I got a never an accent for you. Hey, go suck your mama dry.
Your mother! Go suck your mother! The pussy hole. So they said that. He, she, they. And I looked at the situation. I went, you told me never to speak your name. And it hit me. I was doing shows in basements with 2 people. I've been kicked out of places, almost arrested. I've been almost booed off stage for 10 years. But now I got a little light, a little hint of success. And you think you have the right to tell me on what to do on my stage? I see where you at. You weren't with me shooting in the gym.
Hey.
You were with me when things weren't going. You were there watching, but now things are great and you want a piece of the pie. You don't ever tell me what to do because this is my domain. This is my destiny. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. No. I remember that. I'll never forget that person doing that because it showed that people are not with you when they don't think you're successful. Then once you make it, they want to be right beside you. You were nowhere near that. So, but my whole family, they support me. They support me because I do have my degree. I'm living life, and they big me up every time they can. And I shout out to my little sister. She wants to be my wardrobe person. She has 2 beautiful kids, DJ and Olivia. I love y'all. My brother, I talk crap about all the time because this man is the biggest pessimist I've ever met in my life. Ever. I could call him right now. I said, yo, I'm on the Unscripted Podcast. Really? That's dope. What happened? So I'm on, and Steve Harvey, you saw it. He wants to be on the show. He wants to give me a deal to be like his co-host. He's gonna give me about $500,000. The first thing my brother would say is, "You know they're gonna tax all that stuff, right? You ain't gonna make enough money. You ain't gonna get none of that money. It's not. There's no money. It's $500,000. Ain't no money, bruh. Be happy for me. However, behind closed door, this man is my biggest fan. I hear my biggest fan. You see what my little brother doing? He killing all y'all, man. Y'all ain't shit. You see what he's doing? Yo, he traveling to Egypt. He doing that. See, that's my little brother. But when he around me, he keeps me level. He's gonna make sure my head don't get too big. Yeah. He'll keep me right here, which that's why I respect and love him.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta keep those people around. Just keep you humble sometimes.
So here's, because we got like 5 minutes left.
Oh damn, I'm so sorry.
Nah, you good, man. This is a good conversation. This is how it is all the time.
We're grateful for having you on here, man. Like seriously. Can you tell everybody your social media handle, how they can, if they want to book you in the next 2 years, email, you know what I mean? Like we were paying attention. Website, whatever information you want to relay, just let us know.
Yeah, it's Vince Chang 21. Very simple. Instagram's my main one. DM me. It's Mr. Vince Chang on Twitter. I do have a manager, Aaron Sandler. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see it's Forte Artists. If you have any kind of bookings and stuff, you can just message them, and then they'll do negotiations. But a lot of stuff, you could just hit me up. If it's something that involves my manager, then I'll just forward it to him. If it's something I can do myself, I will. But main thing, you can hit me up on Instagram. My email is also Vince Chang, VINCECHANG21@gmail.com. I respond to everybody. And the one joke I always make people say, well, you got to make sure your followers are different because you got a lot of followers and followers. I'm like, bruh, one thing, I'm a comedian. And it's so stupid that people are very selective of who they follow. If you want to get creativity, you should follow everybody because there's art everywhere. And the great thing about it is that I try to delete those people. I can honestly say out of the, 6,000 people I shake, 5,000 to 4,000 people I've actually met and shook their hands because my circles are so much. So no, I'm not unfollowing people to meet this social media bullcrap of having to let me be above people because that's how you show popularity and show success. No, I'm gonna follow you because you supported me. I won't be here because of you, so I'm gonna give you that follow back. I always thought that was just dumb. I'm not gonna follow you guys. That bullshit. Because not in the day, you can't have a show without audience members. So can't have a podcast without listeners. So show them some support. But that's just my personal opinion.
That's a big fact. Big mic drop, man. Yeah. So my host, DJ MVP, this camera right here. Tell them.
My main one's my IG. That's DJ MVP1. Getting on with the TikTok, which is DJ MVP01, and I'm trying to get Winston back his old pages that I hacked a while back, so he's gonna have like 4 IGs. Okay.
Yo, you already know, man. Exactly, man. All my shit's just been hacked. 3 underscores GQ win. 3 underscores. Y'all know the vibes, man.
All right. And I am, you know this already. We're gonna do a zoom in. You know what I mean?
You ain't got no collar.
I know. Pop this hoodie. As you see, Marvel, and then you got the unscripted boop with the Marvel. You know what I mean? We do things different here, but anyway, Sam Legacy, MOWETA, and that's on all social media platforms, TikTok, Twitter. What else is there? Facebook. Yeah, all of that. We're all that good stuff. So we're great. We're humbled. We're thankful for Mr. Vincent Chang. You know what I'm saying? Coming through. Yo, it's crazy. Like, we got 2 minutes. What's your favorite anime? Go. Number 1.
Oh, favorite anime? Oh, Kuroko no Basketball. Number 1 favorite anime right now, but also really do with One Piece. King of Pirates right there. If I turn to the left, that's Luffy with my man Zoro. So yeah.
Mine is My Hero Academia right now.
Deku! Oh!
Yeah.
United States Smash.
Because I know you guys are looking at me like,
yo, I don't know shit about anime.
Ranking Kings, fire anime.
Bruh.
Kings, I saw the anime. I was like, this looked trash, and it just turned out to be an amazing freaking anime. That's a whole other topic. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to,
We might have to do like after the show interviews. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
that'd be fire.
and then we can take those clips and give them a little extra. That's for the viewers, you know. But
Yeah.
right, you know what I'm saying, off the air.
Yeah.
I'm down because I could talk about anime for hours. Trust me. This.
One that I got into my whole life.
Brandon too.
I actually been
Inuyasha,
Jordan
the
too.
only one I ever got into.
Oh yeah, Inuyasha was the shit too
Yeah.
back in the day. Cowboy Bebop. That was like that's when like that's when like Cartoon
Adult
Network
Swim.
was like Adult Swim.
Tsunami.
Yeah, that's when,
Tsunami.
like, the shit really was coming out.
Yeah. Extending time. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? You are loved. You are valued. You can do whatever you set your mind to. As long as you believe it, you can achieve it. We are the Unscripted Podcast.
All
So
talk.
y'all know the vibes, man. Peace out.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.